My name is Joel Pominville, and I am the host of Creative Mornings, Raleigh. Anybody know anything about Creative Mornings? This is not the morning, so you have come to the wrong event. I am super excited about tonight. I'm extremely grateful that all of you came out to support us in the evenings. Normally we occupy your Friday mornings. Kick off the weekend with some good energy, learning from some creative leaders in the industry. Tonight, we're going to loosen it up a little bit. There's going to be some fuck words said, I guarantee it. So this is like the NSFW version. I'm really excited. So I met Cody Charlin about a year ago or so. We immediately hit it off, and Cody was already in the works with this thing called Fuck Up Nights. And I was just at that point, coming into this role, knowing that I was going to be taking over as host of Creative Mornings, which is a global speaking event all over the world, sort of hearing from creatives and their stories, and oftentimes their success stories, like hearing why an individual has been successful. And when we talked, Cody was mentioning this thing that was coming down the pipeline, this sort of like antithesis in a kind of way, right? It was like, we're just gonna focus on like the fuck up. Like there's no silver lining, it's just like, we're gonna get really amazing people that you would recognize as leaders, success stories, and they're just gonna share a story that's like, hey, I fucked up, and we're just gonna make that normal. So to introduce Fuck Up Nights, here's my friend Cody.
Hello. I'm so glad you're here. What an evening. Someone outside said, I'm so glad you combined this because that saves me going to 2 events this morning. I was like, yeah, what a deal. And it was free. Joel, thanks for that. Thanks for the background on this. Joel even asked me before the very first Fuck Up Night, before we even saw it, you were like, oh, we got to do this together. I was like, on the brakes, chief. Like, let's make sure we get through this, and then if that's related to this one. So I think everything you said is true. We are subverting norms right now. I hope you feel that in this room, that the values are kind of flipped on its head. The people up here who are speaking are not meant to be the most successful people in town. They're meant to be the most brave and courageous. That's right. This is TBS radio. Too good facilities radio. I'm going to get you back. But they're meant to be the most brave and courageous here in town. Some might be successful, some might not be successful. Really, we want to see what failure looks like. We don't know because this space and these stories have never been told. So every time you go to Fuck Up Nights, there's a story here that's not meant to be on LinkedIn, that wasn't Instagram. It might have been a story you've heard at a party before, but it's meant to be different. And it's meant to subvert the values that we always uphold for people. We're changing things, if only for 2 hours at a time. So I'm glad you're here to see it, witness it. And these stories won't be told again unless you see them like somewhere else. Last thing I'll say before I give this back to Joel. Joel, fuck you for convincing me to do this tonight. Joel asked me, I think over 9 times, maybe 10 times, because that's the number that comes after 9, it's 10, to speak tonight on a story that I've held in my heart for a long time. Fuck you. Joel, let's get this started.
So before we kick off into our speakers real quick, I just want to read a few things. Creative Mornings has a manifesto that we start every event with that I'm going to edit a little bit, but I'll read it. It's still important tonight. So we believe that everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things that you love. We believe in the power of community, obviously. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in hugs and high fives. We bring people together who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities all around the world. And everyone fucks up. But still, as Creative Mornings always says every single month, everyone is welcome. Welcome to all of you this evening. It was interesting, so we were working on this for months, because I was like, Cody, we got to do this. And, like, I met him, and then I think the next day I was like, we got to do a joint event. And we sort of had to make it work. And tonight's theme for Creative Mornings is pride. I'm going to read this because we interpreted this. I'm going to read it, and you can interpret it as you will. And tonight is sort of like telling stories that are a fuck up with no really serious explanation about the silver lining is sort of a hit to your pride, right? That's why we don't hear these stories often. So August's theme is pride. Pride is a celebration of our truest, radiant selves and a defiance against those who expect us to dim our own light. We live in a world that often encourages us to take up less space, to conceal the parts of ourselves that can't be easily commodified or consumed. Or worse, what we reveal exposes us to oppressive actors and systems who steal away our dignity. Pride is a powerful affirmation of authenticity. It gives us the grace to show up as ourselves and live in alignment with our values. It embraces every shade of our longings, our regrets, and our hopes, these beautiful and powerful things that make us who we are. Pride is when you stand tall and say, this is who I am. Pride is when you reclaim the parts of your identity that others might have scorned. Pride is when you raise your voice in defense of someone who is powerless, saying enough, because that someone might just be yourself. So how will you unfurl yourself fully? How will you extend safety and solidarity so that we all may be unapologetically ourselves? So that's the theme for this evening, in addition to just sort of telling some stories. So we're going to kick it right off. I was given the amazing opportunity as host of this evening to sort of pull together this field of speakers. In some way, these people are all related to my life in different ways, which I'll sort of introduce them all as. So I'm not going to read their bio, I'm going to tell you why I brought them to the stage. Just as a real quick preface, recently I switched careers from like a fully different world into like food and beverage, service industry, so I'm like figuring that out. It's like a very recent change for me. So this first speaker, I'll be totally honest, is my wife's boss. But it's not as simple as like, I was trying to figure out how to fill in the last speaker spot, and I asked my wife's boss. My wife works at a firm, Maurer Architecture, and every time we drive around Raleigh, we moved here in 2020, March 2020, great time to move to the city. Number 109, every time she got the job and the more she learned about the project, it's like, we would drive literally anywhere and she'd be like, oh my God, my firm worked on that. Like, my firm worked on that restaurant, and my firm worked on that bakery, whatever, like constantly. And I would be like, now that I've sort of gotten to know her coach more, I'd be like, who worked on that restaurant? I mean, so many downtown and around the city of Raleigh, and it seems like all his answer was Meredith. And I would just say, like, it is an incredible honor to introduce the first speaker tonight. As I move into this food and beverage space, it's really cool to connect with somebody that has sort of a toe in that world, toe in architecture in my previous life. So without further ado, Meredith Kirkpatrick, welcome to the stage.
How do I do this?
Go down on that. You can figure it out. It's hard. It should be.
All right. Thanks for being here tonight. So I'm Meredith Kirkpatrick. I'm a partner at Maurer Architecture. I am a Raleigh native. I'm the mom of 2, soon to be 3. And this is a picture of me doing one of my favorite things, walking around old buildings, talking about them. I've had the privilege special projects in my hometown, Trophy Brewing, Long Reef Hotel, the building we're in tonight. And architecture for me has always been about more than just space. It's about the people who inhabit it and the businesses that work in those spaces. And so I really take it upon myself to insert myself into the mindset of the people that are going to be using these buildings and spaces. And I think one of the ways I've been able to do that successfully is by doing some exploration and experimentation in the business world myself. So my story tonight is one of a classic business failure, which is to say there's no fuck up moment. There's no one thing that went wrong. This is a story of a slow burn. But let me back up just a little bit. I grew up here. I moved away for a little while and then came back so that I could go to grad school at NC State and get my master's of architecture, and so that my husband could open Bolted Bread. So finished school, got my dream job at Maurer, and Bolted opened. It was 2014. We were in our 20s. Life was good. And Bolted was a really special experience for me because in a lot of ways it was like being the fun aunt. I got to hand that crying baby right back at the end of the night. I was a part of the visioning and the brainstorming, but at the end of the day, the problems weren't really mine to solve. But seeing this project come to life was really cool because it was this little retail strip on South Street, right on the edge of Boiling Heights. And the neighborhood just sort of came to life. And it was this sort of small-scale urbanism. You know, you could drop your car off with Mike at Men at Work and walk down and get a haircut at the barber shop and then come over and get a cup of coffee and a loaf of bread. And one of the things that I noticed in seeing this evolution was the space next door was vacant. And not just vacant, but like totally boarded up. It had this sort of haunted feeling to it. And it was a break in this lively neighborhood retail. And so like any good, restless, creative, Sam and I started brainstorming, like what can we do to breathe life into this space? So we called up our longtime friend and brilliant creative mind, Brian Costello, who was living in Texas at the time, and he loved this idea. He moved to Raleigh, and Holder Goods and Crafts was born. And it was amazing, and people loved it. This is us the night before our first opening. The shop was part retail, part gallery, part event space. And it was really special. The room constantly changed, and people really loved it. But one of the things about business is that they're supposed to make money. And ours wasn't. In fact, it was losing quite a bit. But that was never the point. That wasn't the reason we opened. This was a real passion project for all of us. And so we really focused on that. And, you know, sort of having these ideas and seeing them come to fruition. My mom was a partner of ours, and so Sam and my mom and I were all working full-time jobs outside of the shop. Brian was working full-time in the shop, and we were doing everything we could to push forward. We had our team meetings early in the morning so that I could make it into the office on time. And we loved every minute of it. We had these events regularly, art openings that were super successful. Great turnout, great sales, really fun. And it felt like if we could just do more of that was really the key to this thing working. So we really poured ourselves into it. And you know, those events took a lot of time and energy and promotion, and so we just sort of gave and gave and gave, and for about 2 years, and then in 2017, my first son was born. And he was mad. And I can laugh about it now because he's a delightful 6-year-old, but he lived like this for about 20 hours a day. And I found myself, instead of wandering around the grocery store thinking about Holder, I was thinking, like, how can I get this baby to go to sleep? And for the first time in my life, my time wasn't my own, which sounds cliche, but I had always had time and space to have an idea or want to solve a problem, and I would just carve out the time to do that, and all of a sudden I couldn't. And so that was a real challenge for me, and I think if I'm being really honest, this was sort of the beginning of the end of Holder for me, and realizing this. But when you're in a business partnership, I think one of the really interesting things is you have this shared thing, this business that's alive, and you all share it, but you also have your individual experience of that. And you never really know what's inside your partner's minds. And so I started having these feelings that this wasn't a sustainable thing for me. And I realized, like, in the case of failure like this, somebody has to start talking about it first, which is a really hard thing to realize and understand and do. But eventually we started talking about it. We talked about it for a long time, weighed a lot of options, and in the end we decided to close. We were open for 4 years. This is us on our closing night. We had a pinata, smashed it. And I had the chance to reflect on this closure process, preparing to be here tonight, and I realized that the group of us, we never really debriefed about this experience. And so in a lot of ways, even though this was 4 years ago, it's sort of still alive. We're still going through this. And so this being here has actually given me a chance to talk to the others. And I think for all of us, it was a recognition of our own individual limitations. Mine was time and space, but I think we all had our own version of that. So this is us on the last night. I was about 2 weeks away from having my second son. That's my mom and my sister. And serendipitously, this was 4 years ago to the day, August 24th, 2019. Also happens to be my birthday. So here we are, smiling, failing, ready to wake up and try something new tomorrow. Thanks for having me.
All right. I'm gonna seal this. We have a lot of time for Q&A. If you're cool with Q&A.
Totally.
All right.
Totally. Love Q&A.
Yeah, okay. Q&A can wait. I think first we should sing happy birthday. Everybody cool with that? All right. I have the worst voice. You suggested it. All right. We'll just do it together. I'll take my way. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Meredith. Happy birthday to you. What a treat that you would spend your birthday with us. This sounds like the worst birthday ever. All right, so Q&A is open. Who's got a question? And I will say, I have beer tokens. Hey!
Hi, Meredith. I had a question about the conversation that you had at the end. You
was getting ready to be here, and Brian and I had a long conversation about it. And his side is that he also felt it, and that's that weird part about the business where you're having like your own individual experience of it. So we started talking about it. I honestly don't know how exactly it played out, but
We ran out of money.
that's it. So he didn't have a baby. That wasn't his version of the story, but he also felt it. So I don't think anybody was surprised that we were needing to have this conversation. There was also the very real piece of it that, you know, the business is not sustaining itself. But we thought a lot about, like, do we split it apart? What does this look like? Because there's no roadmap for like how you fail. It looks different for everybody. And so we spent long months running through these different scenarios, like, okay, we could do it this way, or we could do it that way. And it seemed like the cleanest way to end was to let it have a clean sort of break.
Hey Meredith, I'm curious. Can you look in your crystal ball when all your kids are grown, maybe they're working for their mom? Do you have that startup, motivation in you again to come that time? What do you think that business would be? What would you do differently?
I think architecture is my business. That one really works for me. No, I think that I've become a little bit more critical through my experience of just like, and it may be that I've like developed a better gut sense of what will work and what won't work. I think that's part of it. Is like once you try enough things, you sort of know what may or may not work. So startups probably aren't for me. But I really enjoy the process of like thinking through what parts of different concepts may or may not work.
All these deep questions. I've got another deep that's really deep for you. The metaphor of smashing the pinata. I think we all want to know what was the pinata and what was inside it.
The pinata was some yellow animal, like a donkey maybe, filled with strange candies. Yeah, lots of strange little tchotchkes and stuff, liquor bottles. That was a good one. Liquor bottles.
So I know that you had to frame this presentation as a failure, but it seems to me that things like you did don't happen if the world were full of people who were chastened by failures. I mean, do you regard it as a whole out complete failure? There were delightful times, weren't there?
Yeah. No, I don't think of this as a failure. I actually, when Joel asked me, I sort of identified as maybe a recovering perfectionist would be the way to frame it. So fucking up isn't really something that I do a lot of. I've had plenty of failures. I fail all the time, but I don't really fuck up. So I don't think of this as a failure necessarily, unless you frame it as the business didn't work. That's a very clear failure.
Hi, I'm also a Meredith and a mom. How have you continued to embrace your limitations being a mom and being a professional?
I told you this question would come up.
Yeah, that's a good one. I gotta get this giant pregnant flag on here. I am really strategic about my time. I think you just have to be. But I'm also wired that way. I like to just, I focus. I think the real key to it is I don't try to do lots of things at once. The people that work from home with their kids, like, I don't understand how that's possible. I need space to focus on what I'm doing and like really execute it. And then I do the same thing at home when I'm with them. I try not to be like also working at the same time. So making space, having a great partner is a huge piece of it. And then also lots of help.
So this is more a comment than a question, but I'm sitting here. Leah and I live in Boylan Heights, and we've watched the progression over the years of Boylan Heights. And when we saw Bolton come through, we were like, "What the hell are these guys thinking? This is crazy, right?" And this is so opposite end of a fuck up. So I mean, look, as an outsider looking in, the fact that you had 2 children, a family business, and you're a successful architect, if that's a fuck up, I am truly the world's biggest fuck up. So, kudos to you guys.
My question is a lot more specific. I will also say thank you for being there while you were there. It was a beautiful space. But I wonder, I'm interested in audience feedback. I wonder if you all were conscious of or actively listening to responses of people shopping or observing, and Castell's probably great at this, observing shoppers, talking to them about their experience, why they bought, why they didn't buy. Were your observations of the trajectory of sales also flowing from your clients, or were you all just sort of observing and looking at the cash register?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I don't want to speak for Brian. I wish he could jump up here and talk to it because he was there every day. But he in this reflection admitted that one of his limitations was just being laser focused on like the vision. And in a lot of ways, that's what the shop was about. It was a real passion project and sort of a creative exercise for us. And retail, the money-making part of it wasn't ever really the goal. So I don't know that any of us were surprised that it didn't last forever because it wasn't really built to. So I think all the traditional retail metrics, that wasn't really at the forefront, and certainly I think could have been, who knows, rewriting, looking back or whatever it may be. But that wasn't a driver in this project.
That's it, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meredith, for taking us on our slow burn failure. It really has been a treat to discuss this. I mean, not dissimilar, most of the speakers that I sort of reached out to, they had the same reaction, like, I really haven't fully dealt with this thing. Not like you're asking me to deal with this thing now and like have these conversations, but like I've sort of put that to bed. And so that's sort of a theme, I think, in a way. Oh yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. All right. So. Okay. All right. So the next speaker, I just want to say, as I sort of made this career transition, I was like, I don't know anybody in this industry, and I should probably like meet some chefs in town. And so another through line to my wife. Thank you, Marissa. Shout out Marissa, my wife. She had worked on Preeti's restaurant, and so I reached out to Preeti, and I quit my career, quit my job, and I was leaving Italy, and I was like, Preeti, like meet for chai? And she's like, absolutely. And we talked for an hour and 45 minutes. And at some point at the end of that, she was like, I have to get back in the kitchen. But it was so, I really appreciate your time that day. One little tidbit of advice she gave me was, I'm going into this career of cooking food for people. She's like, when you go to Italy, eat. Remember to eat. Remember to eat while you're out there. So anyway, all of that said, Preeti is just such a bright energy to be around. You all know it if you've met her. You know it if you've been to a restaurant. Without further ado, Preeti Waas. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I feel like a bit of an idiot. I won't call myself a fuck up yet, but definitely feel like a bit of an idiot because I've been sitting there grinning, thinking, I'm supposed to follow Meredith? Measured, intelligent, calm, focused. I am none of those things at all. I am pure instinct. I am pure gut. And if you haven't put two and two together, that leads to more fuck-ups than anything else. I will own it at the outset. I now own Chini Indian Food Emporium. And Meredith and Marissa worked on that project, and that was amazing. I love these connections, just like Joel referenced, love these connections. So, I got an idea that somehow people wanted to eat the food that I grew up eating. So I thought maybe I should cook it. Anyway, that is now. But my first foray into food and bev was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 2008. But another fun. Anyway, and I was that stupid person. People would come to our house and they'd say, you're such a good cook, you should open a restaurant. And stupid me, I did. So I did open a restaurant. I had no idea what I was doing. I could cook, I was a good cook, but no idea what I was doing. Didn't have the money to do it either. So had a neighbor who had a lot of money. She wanted to open a chocolate business. We decided to go into partnership together. We put in our initial investment together, and then she decided she was done with it. Left me holding the bag, even before we started construction. So suddenly I had to come up with all this money, put all this work in. I had an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. And instead of saying, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea to go ahead, I did. I did. It was almost like too late to stop that train at that point. Anyhow, the restaurant, quote unquote, succeeded. People wanted to come eat there. That's a success to me. But after it looked like it was a success, this former partner decided she now wanted 50% of the profit. So she decided to sue me, went after all my assets. Long story. That is a whole different story. Anyway, so I closed that cafe because I could not fight legally with somebody who was sleeping with a lawyer.
Tell us that story.
That's not my fuck up, that was hers. After I closed that, social media wasn't as big then. I don't think Instagram was existing at that time. Anyhow, it became, if any of you are in the food and beverage industry, do you all know what an ego trip it is? When people tell you that they like your food, you will bend over backwards, do stupid things just so you can feed them that food again. I mean, it's stupid. I don't know what it is. Addiction? I don't know. Anyway, I kept feeling like I had to still do what I did. And so this opportunity came up to open up a tiny little retail store in a very pretty shopping center. Problem was this tiny little retail store did not have a kitchen. So I'm thinking, you know what, I'm smart, right? I will find a kitchen. I did. I found a kitchen in a basement that had been unused for about 4 years. And I thought, it has all this commercial equipment. It's a kitchen. I can bake there. I can cook there. I can do this. Tiny little problem. My rent was about to start. It was about to be due, my first rent after I set up this retail store. And I knew that if I was going to actually get this kitchen certified legally, it was going to take a while. So I was like, I am ServSafe certified. I know what to do. So I cleaned this stupid, filthy kitchen, set up all my stuff in there, and baked. And transported food to this retail store. Look at him laughing. He knows. and thought I was so clever because I beat the system. Look at me. Well, the health department paid me a visit and was like, hey, so we see that you're selling food. Where's this food coming from? A kitchen? Oh yeah, what kitchen? Oh, at 71st and Yale. Really? We don't have that on our books. No, there's a kitchen there. Is this part of the business? What business? Oh, I'm not allowed to say. I was 30-something years old. What was wrong with me? I was so stupid. Anyway, again, I thought I was beating the system. I'm Indian. We're like scrappy. We do things. Okay? I had my driver's license when I was 10 years old. So, I can do this. So, one day, it was a fall morning. I remember crisp morning, beautiful weather. For those of you who know the food industry, you know it is baking weather. It is where people want to eat all the baked goods. It was beautiful. And I am at this retail shop, and my staff shows up. They unload all of these baked goods and everything. I've stocked this case. It's looking great. The refrigerator is stocked. And a few minutes later, in walks the health department. 4 of them. And main guy, his name is Frank. Frank walks in, and my heart's beating faster, but I'm like, I got this. And he says, so, just so you know, we have been parked at the intersection at 71st and Yale since about 6:30 this morning. And we watched your staff bring all this food up from some unknown basement, load it in their car, and drive it over here. And we watched you unload it. You want to tell me again where this food came from? What kitchen you've been using? So needless to say, I was busted. He made me. He didn't do it. They didn't do it. They made me take every single one of those things and throw them in the trash. Every single thing. Exactly. Thank you. So I could say this was a fuck up. It was actually definitely a fuck up. I should not have tried to skirt the law, shall we say. But it's a fuck up I'll own. I own it 100%. And a little bit of background. I was advised to touch upon this background. when I opened the legal shop, Frank was the inspector there. It's also a small town. Frank was this older man, and the first time he came to inspect my shop before we opened it, he introduced himself by saying, "I have a belt with notches on it." And the notches are for how many businesses I shut down. Yeah, asshole. So, like I said, I own this fuck up, all right? But I will also say that Frank had it out for me. I don't know, you decide. Was it my fuck up? Was it me trying to prove a point? Who the hell knows? But that was it. That was my fuck up.
All right. Get my beer token out real quick. Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
First question.
I love winning something. First of all, not all attorneys are bad. As an attorney, I'm an intellectual property attorney though, so like, I work for God. But my question is, what did you learn from your fuck up? Like, did your fuck up teach you a skill that you use all the time now?
To lie better? No, truly, it taught me that winning is sweeter when you follow the rules and win. Then try to think you can outsmart the system because the system will always get you. That doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm still a rule breaker. I want to break rules all the time. And I do, just differently. I don't break the law as much.
All right.
Did Frank give you a fair assessment on your legal kitchen?
No. Although I will say, he could not find fault with it. That is my win, all right? That's my win.
We're just gonna in a 3, 2, 1 fuck Frank. Who's getting this on video? 3, 2, 1. Fuck Frank! Is he here tonight, Frank? Here?
Is there somebody named Frank here?
That would be good. Anybody else with a question for Preeti?
Well, everyone's stunned. They can't think of
We
questions.
just hate Frank. We're just all out here hating Frank. One more question. I see pointing. Yeah.
Hi, Preeti. Thank you so much for what you've done to contribute to the food and beverage community. Your joint Chini is awesome. We ate there recently and had a fantastic time, so everyone go visit.
Thank you.
What was the process like transitioning from that experience to getting Chini like off the paper and into creation?
Genie, for me, so this is going to get a little deep. Can you all hear me? I mean, okay.
Yeah, I mean.
This is going to get slightly deep, which is that the cafes I opened in Tulsa, I'm a good baker. I'm a decent baker. And those were all very American because I wasn't allowed to be Indian. I didn't feel confident nor comfortable nor seen, or I felt too seen when I put out my Indianness. And that comes also from other stuff, not just that. But I just wanted to be accepted, and which is why I only did the American things. And when I finally decided that I didn't like who I was presenting to the world, because it wasn't fully me, and I thought if I'm going to fully not accept, but if I'm going to shine, I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid nor shy, but if I'm going to fully shine and fully be Preeti, I'm going to serve the food that I grew up with. Not fucking chicken tikka masala, I'm just going to say that right now. But real food that I grew up eating, food that I fed my children, and that came from the gut. When you talk about the gut, that came from the gut. That was, I'm going to try it, and if I fail at that, I will shut up and sit down. I haven't had to, thankfully. Thanks to you all.
All right, thank you so much, Preeti. All right, so we are at... How's everybody feeling? First half? Good? You guys get some food? You get some ice cream? Anybody? Right side? Got some drinks out there? All right. We're going to say some thank yous, because thank yous are important, like on the regular. Like not just when you're up on stage, but like just say thank you to people. But I'm going to say thank you to some special people here. First of all, thank you to Trophy and Maywood Holly Garden for hosting us tonight in this beautiful space. They've been so kind to host us tonight. We're really grateful for the space. This is the perfect space for us to join up with Function Nights. Hope you got some beer back there. The next thing I want to do is I want to say a quick thank you to Brand Fuel real quick. So Brand Fuel, yep. So Brand Fuel is Creative Mornings' annual sponsor, physical partner, as we call him. They're not going to get up here and say anything. They want me to just move on. But actually, what I'm going to do tonight, and I failed to put a slide in here, but I'm just going to freestyle it, you know what I mean? As I'm doing this whole thing here. Is one thing that Brand Fuel does. So Brand Fuel is super involved in the community outside this, involved with a lot of nonprofits in town. And they've been a big partner of ours for many years. And they give a lot of love to me and our team. Our team is fully volunteer. This is a lot of hours, a lot of late nights that we spend doing this instead of that or other things. We talk about like not having our time to ourselves. Our time goes to CreativeMornings. And so does our entire volunteer team, of which I have like 9 or 10 other volunteers besides me. So tonight I want to recognize one volunteer. She has been, she moved here from Colorado fairly recently, in like November last year. She didn't know this happened, so. Shannon stepped into our team. I took over as host in November and needed some people on our social media team, needed to move some people around, and Shannon just like stepped in and just like started going all out. Like, I don't understand social media. I'm not trying to sound 92. I'm just 92 years old. I don't get it really. But I know that people do, and I know that people love it. And Shannon stepped onto our team and started just absolutely crushing it. Our whole team is amazing, but Shannon specifically, we're gonna give some love to Shannon. If you wanna come up here, I got a little baggie for you. Give some love to Shannon. Shannon's best. Once again for Shannon. Some other partners I want to recognize. Bowl Batch, Slinging the Good Ice Cream in the back. Vegan ice cream, I don't know if that's what we call it for those of us with weak stomachs. Thank you, Bowl Batch, for being out here tonight. Brightside Beverage Club, thank you, Jenny over here. We got some peach ginger action going on. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out. And showing us love. The Wandering Wolf, of course, Jake Wolf out there. Hopefully you got some dinner. Thank you guys for coming out. Also TDS Radio, always with the freaking sound effects. instant photo booth. Look at this. Look at Cody right now. This is cute. Y'all are cute. And also to our partners, CreativeMornings partners, Walter and BAE, that make a lot of what we do possible. So shout out to these people. Thank you very much. Next up, I'm going to go pose with Kate. It's okay, it's okay.
Okay. Hey, one of the things in this hybrid event world that we have between Creative Mornings and Fuck Up Nights, every time we're Fuck Up Nights, I thought it wasn't enough to like just be together and tell stories. We wanted to like make an impact with a different nonprofit for every event. So if you've been to Fuck Up Nights, all the proceeds go towards a different nonprofit. So tonight we're doing things a little bit different. We didn't have to pay to be here, but we're hoping to go support a nonprofit that I'm affiliated with called Raleigh. You might have seen a skate park on Capitol Boulevard. It used to be a parking lot where the salt bar used to be. Well, that's just a start. We want to build more and more because we really think skating kind of levels the playing field as far as adults, teens, kids, everybody in Raleigh. Like it's one of the sports that you really find your place in. So I'm going to bring up Maddie, who's our events. Yeah, come on, Maddie. She's our events manager, social media manager. You'll see her on Instagram flexing her fucking muscles for your pleasure. Don't be scared. Be protected. So, Maddie's going to tell you a little bit more about what we're doing and what you do to support us.
Hi, everybody. So, thank you all for coming out. Fuck Up Nights has a special place in my heart, so I'm really glad that Skate Raleigh is going to be benefited from tonight. As long as you guys scan this QR code and give back. So, Skate Raleigh, if you haven't already been, please go. We will be doing a lot more things coming up. We will be at Hopscotch popping up, so we hope that you come out. We're actually going to be doing competitions. We're going to have local rollerblader Chris Crowder out there doing a rollerblade competition. We're going to have Endless Grind doing a skateboard competition. Mongoose doing a BMX jam. Everything for anybody on wheels to come out and have a good time. But not only do we do things for the skate community, but we do a lot for the art community as well. So September 15th, you can meet the artists who will be painting our barriers at the park. We have a lot of local artists that have painted tons of murals around Raleigh. They will be the ones creating the art at the park. So you can come out and watch them paint, and then turn around and come back October 1st for an unveiling of the park where we will make it a skate spectacular. Skateboard, scooter, rollerblade, roller skate. One thing I've learned is please include everybody, okay? Rollerbladers are not roller skaters, okay? They are separate, and please separate them, okay? But you can come out, bring your wheels, and if you don't know, please stay in touch with us because we will be doing workshops so you can learn how to skate on any of the wheels, or you can bring your kids out, and we'll even have a trophy out there. So if you don't want to skate, you can bring your kids and drink a beer while they do. Okay, if you don't already, follow us on Instagram at SK8 Raleigh. And also, again, scan this QR code, or when you go to our Instagram, go to the link and you can find more information on how you can donate to make sure that we continue to give a good, safe space for the skate community, but also for the community of downtown Raleigh as a whole. So yeah, thank you all.
Gosh, you did it, Joel. Okay, breaking fucking news tonight. We have a new chapter of Fuck Up Nights starting in Raleigh. My friends Ken and Kim, also known as TBS Radio, are starting up Fuck Up Nights Durham right here, right now. Coach Block and Kim, tell us about Fuck Up Nights Durham, what's going to happen.
So anybody who knows Cody, he's extremely helpful and also slightly brutally honest. So after the second Fuck Up Night, we were like, Cody, where we do our radio station? We have a great place. And he's like, like how he said, We're like, it has a rooftop, and we can have Fuck Up Nights there. I love some coach, but I don't have a license for Durham. But I can help you. I'm like, come on, Cody, damn, what am I doing? And he said, I'll show you how to get a license for Durham so that we can expand the brand. So we got the license for Durham, so now we lock down Durham and Raleigh, so we own the triangle, baby. So, you want to talk about our first fuck up nights? The theme?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Right. So we're super excited about bringing this to Durham. We love the Fuck Up Nights community. You guys have welcomed us. I'm fluffy. Thank you. Not a good angle for a fluffy girl. So glad that you guys have welcomed us. We're gonna wrap this up really quick because we are on a tight schedule. But we plan on having themes for our Fuck Up Night, and the first one is going to be about educators. And there are many fuck ups in their field. So, in case you guys didn't know, many fuck ups. So if anyone in this room is an educator or knows of an educator, we have one more spot that we are trying to fill before we go ahead and get the ball rolling for that.
Chris.
What? Chris! Yes!
Yeah, there it is.
We're full, we're booked. Great. Thank you.
So, is the next one on the website? I'm sorry. So, if you guys want to listen to the music, it's tdsradio.com, and then on Instagram and all social media, TDS Radio. So, thank y'all for y'all support, and let's keep fucking up.
Following up on that, I got an email tonight from Fuck Up Nights headquarters. They said, thanks for starting Fuck Up Nights Durham with Ken and Kim, and then someone who came to Fuck Up Nights Raleigh previously started Fuck Up Nights Bangkok in Thailand. So, really fucking strange shit going on. Jill, are you ready for speaker number 3? This is all you do.
Let's go.
I know.
Give it a mic. All right. Congratulations, guys. You're the best. All right. So we're moving quick. Then you say, say a little bit like, a few minutes late. But so in this theme of like the speakers, me sort of pulling on things that are sort of in my own life, and actually things that probably are just like inspired by my whole life. Like I think Bruce is like more involved in this than either of us realize. I was never really into sports at all of any kind whatsoever growing up. I didn't watch sports in my family, whatever. So Marissa's really into soccer, played soccer throughout high school and all that kind of stuff. We moved to New Orleans years back, and like, hey, who that? When you're living in New Orleans, it's like you gotta be a part of the Saints like family. Like it's an amazing culture. So we sort of felt, in a small way, a part of that. When we moved to Raleigh, we're like, man, we want to be a part of something here. And we found the NC Courage, the women's professional soccer team here. And became season ticket holders. Like, we absolutely love going to the games. They're incredible athletes, they're an incredible team. It's an incredible family here in the Raleigh area. I guess I owe that to Marissa as well, but what was interesting, like we were at a game, and what I was mentioning to you when we were speaking originally, like, there's so much turnover. I know very little about like professional sports, but I was like, Brianna, we were at the game that you scored against Gotham, and all I know is that the speaker on at the game was like, just traded to the NC Courage. Brianna Pinto just scored her first professional goal against the team that she was just traded against. So I was like, yeah, fuck the Gotham. Like, I was like, I don't even know. Like, I just know that Brianna came from Gotham, and she's now on our team, and she just scored against them. And, like, I just feel like a lot of energy right now. And so that was, like, a really exciting thing for me. This CreativeMornings, host opportunity came up, and I was like, I've got to get an NC Courage player to speak at one of our events. And, part of it is like finding someone that's like like really invested and really interested in speaking and good at speaking in front of other people. And I started to watch Brianna speaking in front of other folks, watching some of her interviews, and I'm just like so honored that you would be here to speak with us tonight. So without further ado, please welcome Brianna Benson.
Professional soccer player for the North Carolina Courage. And I am also a member of the U23 U.S. Women's National Team. Before I take you into my background, I want to tell you guys about one of the most unfortunate twists to the trajectory of my career. But full disclaimer, my fuck up is not a one-time thing. It's something that's been going on for quite a while. So in 2018, in Trinidad and Tobago, I was playing for the under-20 U.S. Women's National Team in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying championship match against Mexico. Our joy was overflowing because we had qualified for the World Cup at this point, and next up on our list was to win this championship to assert our dominance over our region of the world. So the World Cup would be held in France later that year, and we really wanted to go out with a win in this final game. So in the 33rd minute, we conceded a goal, but we weren't worried. We had been down before. We knew that we had the collective ability to tap into our grit and find the equalizer. So we went into halftime, and we did a mental reset, and we committed to bringing more energy into the second half. And actually, in the 49th minute, I played a key role on a corner kick, and I made a slashing run in front of the goalkeeper to block her view, and the ball went to the back post. It was then redirected by my teammate back across the frame to our center back, who headed it in. So following that, there were many other quality chances throughout the game, but regulation play came to a close after 90 minutes, which meant that we would head into extra time. And for those of you that are not familiar with the sport of soccer, extra time is 15-minute periods. There's 2 of them. And if there's nobody that scores, then it heads to penalties. And because we were tied at 1 and nobody scored, the game would be decided by penalties. So this was our 5th game in a matter of 9 days. So naturally, we were beyond exhausted. And I was one of the youngest players on the roster at this point, and my goalkeeper coach came up to me at this point in time, and he was like, would you be willing to take the first penalty kick? And naturally, I'm someone who's on the risk-avoidant side of the spectrum. I don't really love to do anything first, which is why I'm going 3rd tonight. Unless it's like breaking some sort of record. But anyways, I bottled my fear, and I put on a tough demeanor, and I agreed to take the kick. So penalties, right? Like what a simple task. Just shoot it on frame, hard enough and placed well enough that the goalkeeper can't stop it. It's a shot I practiced 1,000 times, but just hasn't seemed to go right as of late. This time, it was on a shitty mud-laden field with comically long grass, and I missed. But I didn't just miss. It rolled at a painfully slow pace to the goalkeeper, and not even in the corner like I had practiced. I took too short of a run-up, and it was too straight as well. I failed to take a deep breath to calm my nerves before I struck the ball, and out of fear of blasting it over the net, my mind restricted me to the other extreme, and I tensed up right before I struck it, and I generated no power whatsoever. So thankfully, our goalkeeper came up big on Mexico's next attempt, and she saved the shot, and then my teammate, Izzy, she also converted her attempt, so we were level at 1. However, unfortunately, my teammate, the MC Courage, Kiki Pickett, she also missed her attempt. And our team lost 4-2 in the penalty shootout championship against Mexico. So it was close, but no cigar. So I've been someone who's been highly successful since, to me, what seems like the beginning of time. I feel like I had it made for me in the fact that I had all the resources, the family background, the talent, and the drive to become successful. I attended my first U14 girls national team camp at the age of 12. I represented the U.S. women's, well, every level of the federation by the age of 16. And at age 14, I verbally committed on a full ride to play soccer at my dream school, which is the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Growing up, I had 4 goals. That was to go to UNC and win a national championship, to win a World Cup, to win an Olympics, and to win the Ballon d'Or, which is the best player in the world award. Unfortunately, I have come just short of one of those goals due to my acquired fear of taking penalty kicks. As a proud member of the UNC and US women's national team cultures, I feel like I'm someone that thrives under pressure. When the game's on the line, historically it's been me that finds the goal. Unless, of course, extra time has passed and penalty kicks are the deciding factor in the match. So anyways, that moment in Trinidad and Tobago stuck with me for years. Shortly after a disappointing team performance in the World Cup in France later that year in 2018, I began my collegiate career at UNC. I was one of the leading goal scorers all 3 years, and never even once did I think about taking a penalty. And that came back to bite me in the ass in the 2019 national championship. We did all the hard work to seek redemption after losing to Florida State 1-0, actually on my current home field, the year before. And out of 64 NCAA tournament teams, we were facing Stanford, arguably their best team in the modern era in the national championship. And it came down to penalties. I let one insignificant penalty kick strip me of my lifelong dream of continuing UNC's dynasty and winning our 23rd national championship. All because I was too afraid to take a penalty kick out of fear of letting my team down again. Instead, a freshman who played no minutes at all stepped up in my place and had a horrendous miss, just like mine in 2018. And do you know who scored Stanford's championship-winning penalty? None other than Kiki Pickett. Wow, okay. And this is the same girl that missed at the same time that I did and was able to learn from her mistake and, but she was able to learn from her mistake and overcome it. And, you know, I admire that because it's teaching me strength in my journey. But with that being said, in my journey in North Carolina, I went to 3 college cups and lost in 2 national championships in the semifinal. And unfortunately, that means that I came within 4 victories of winning 3 consecutive national championships, and I am now a part of only 5 classes in program history that never won a national championship. Since then, I was drafted 3rd overall in the 2021 NWSL draft by Gotham FC. And I've only had 2 opportunities to take a penalty kick since then. One was in an organized match against a boys team in our preseason scrimmage this season, and I came into the season ready to overcome this fear. And I got so confident in my routine to the point where I never missed in training. And I gained the respect and the belief from my teammates and coaches, and I was a team penalty taker. So, however, in a Challenge Cup match this past season against my former team, Gotham, I stepped up ready to take the penalty kick, but despite being iced out a little due to a long VAR review, which is a video review, I remained confident. I counted out my steps, I evaluated the goalkeeper, I took a deep breath, and I went for it. And I missed. I shot it hard, but not far enough in the corner or low enough to squeeze by. And yet again, I am no longer the team penalty kick taker. I've been grappling with this hole in my game for years. I so desperately want to become a clutch in the face of adversity and score PKs with conviction, but I haven't figured it out yet. I know that everyone misses at some point or another, and a perfect example of that is at the recent World Cup with the U.S. Women's National Team losing to Sweden. But what I do know is whenever I do get my next opportunity, whether that's weeks, months, years away, I will step up with an inflated sense of confidence and belief that I haven't seemed to earn yet. But I guess for now, it's only up from here.
We have time for like 3 questions. So the first question with a beer token. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very simple question. But I'm curious, do you ever get days when you're not practicing with the team where you get to just play? Like, whatever you want, with anybody you want.
Make your steps in, Joe.
I think that's a great question. Yes, that's in the off season. I have my family to thank for all of my success. Both my brothers played professionally, and my parents were student athletes at UNC as well. So in the off season, I get to train with my brothers, and we push each other, and we play in an unrestricted environment. It's some of the most joyful moments that I've had. But I think what you learn when you're chasing anything and you're trying to become great, nobody's journey to the top is going to be straight. And I think my brothers and my family and my parents have been so instrumental in building up that confidence when things don't go my way and instilling belief in me, and I'm so grateful. So, yeah.
Other questions? I'm not really sure what this question is, but in the moments in the past before you take that kick, what goes through your head? And for your next kick, what do you plan to implement? Like, what do you plan to say to yourself?
I'm acting like I haven't ever scored a penalty, but I have. But no, I think it's just, you gotta focus on your routine and just believe in it. Like, I think sometimes in the past, like, I've gotten afraid of like the worst outcome, which is missing. You know, like a goalkeeper could have a great day and make a great save, and that's the game. Like, that's any sport. But I think for me, like, the next time I do get my opportunity is step up with confidence and go exactly where I want to and hit it with pace. Like, hit it as hard as I can. Because I feel like I'm talented. I know I am, and I've been practicing for long enough to make this shot. But I just think it's just a step of growth.
All right, John.
Hi. I'm so proud of you. That is so proud of you. What would you tell? Well, here's what I'm so proud of. You had a hard time with that. You know it's your hill to climb, your mountain to climb, and you're out there and you're trying it, and it's not landed exactly the way you want. But you're in the middle of it, and you're sharing it with all these people, and I just love that. Just love it. For anyone who's in a similar position, right? They've had a scare, they've got some demon that they're dealing with, and they're on the path, but they're not there yet. What do you want to tell them?
This is actually really liberating, like, talking about this, because I think the hard part is, like, everybody's, chasing, like, perfection. But I think for me, like, the thing that I'm going to tell them is, like, you learn so much about yourself, and you can look back and be proud of yourself when you do step up.
the number of times you pick yourself back up, because that shows resilience and it shows fighting grit. And I think those are life lessons that even when my career does come to an end, I'll be proud of.
That's it for now. Thank you, Brianna, so much. And I hope this is okay to share. So when we initially spoke about speaking tonight, she shared the story, and by the way, this is that cake, right? This is that moment. And similarly, she hadn't watched that tape since being asked to sort of speak about this sort of moment of failure, similar to not sort of addressing these issues. But when we were on the call, she shared the story, and I was like, well, you know, I didn't realize how deep of or big of a question it was, but I asked, you know, do you think you're bearing like the weight of an entire team on your shoulders, right? And we just like took a moment to absorb that, because whether you're playing professional sports or you're on a team that's doing sales or whatever, like there are times in which we sort of bear all of the weight on ourselves, and sometimes it's nice just like to come to the fucking nights and like hash it out. So thanks for doing that, Brianna. So last but not least, I am incredibly excited to end the evening with this. So Cody he's the organizer of Fuck Up Nights, as we talked about. He's been in the background of that, right? So he's found a different host for every one of their events, and that's just like the way that he likes it. He's not going to do, he's okay to talk to. But he's sort of just been in the background, and a lot of people have wanted to hear him talk, and I wanted to hear him talk. And I told him I will ask you 13 times, because statistically, someone will say yes if you ask them for an opportunity. After 13 times, it'll be about 9. So without further ado, the one and only, the founder of Fuck Up Nights, Raleigh, which we've already had established as international acclaim, international relevance, Cody Schuyler.
Hey, a few thank yous. Meredith, are you still here? Gosh, you make Raleigh so beautiful. Thank you for Meredith. Well said. Like decades, generations are going to be better for what you design. Thank you. Preeti, are you still here? You slipped out. I can't believe you. Fuck Frank! Fuck Frank! Fuck Frank! Fuck! Racists suck. And there you are. Yes, look at you. You feed the world through Raleigh. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you. And then Brianna, it sucks to talk after you. Oh my gosh, you were amazing. Thank you for all that you're doing for Raleigh, for the world, for the sport. Give it up for Brianna. And then last few things, shout out to all the volunteers who were like the people standing behind tables. You made tonight happen. Thank you so much. Well done, volunteers. Thank you guys. And then I can't say enough about Trophy Beer. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Well done. Well done. You quenched my thirst like no other. So, thanks for being here. I want to tell a story tonight about my fuck up of shitting my pants at work during a performance review. So, a long time ago, the first fuck up of the story was I moved to Los Angeles to go to seminary in a place in a city called Pasadena. You guys see where Pasadena is right now. There's a Rose Bowl there. There's a Rose Bowl parade. The house of Doc Brown from Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 is there. Beautiful little place. So I made the move to go to seminary. I was going to be a pastor year was really trying to figure out like, hey, what's going on with spirituality? I want to jump in with 2 feet, so I moved from Wilmington, where I was living, to LA. And thankfully, like that first week I was in seminary, I got a job on campus with a research group, super professional department, had incredible work, bosses, I loved it. Started off as an intern, and then made my way to part-time official as like a project manager, and was really loving this job, thinking like, okay, this is great. That whole first year, as well as I was moving from intern to part-time, I was dating a girl long distance from Pasadena all the way in Greenville, North Carolina, at a school called ECU. Is anyone familiar with ECU?
A bunch of pagans.
That was hard. That was really hard over the year, dating coast to coast, doing that. So, my first year was great, don't fail any classes, keeping my job, progressing, and it comes up time for my performance review. So it was on a Monday, and the weekend before my performance review with my bosses was my girlfriend's graduation at the time. She was graduating from ECU, so I jumped on a plane from LAX to Raleigh, go to Greenville, and I get dumped on graduation weekend. Who ever thought like a girl from ECU would dump someone? But at the time, I didn't know that. I got totally blindsided, was heartbroken, thought I was going to marry this person. You've all been there, right? Like the person you keep trying to be with, you might not be with them. So it wrecks me. So that was a Sunday, and I had to take a red-eye flight from RDU to LAX and just land about a few hours before my performance review in Pasadena. And as you can see, it's not an easy way to get there. It's actually about 30 miles away from one another, those 2 cities. It's about 45 minutes. And after I get off LAX, deep plane, I'm starving. I couldn't sleep a wink on this flight. It was a red eye. So on the way home to this performance review, I'm like gathering my thoughts, trying to get ready. Let's go get a coffee. Let's go get the biggest fucking coffee you can find. Not only that, let's go to Lucky Boy in Pasadena. They have the best breakfast burritos you've ever seen. In fact, it takes 2 people to eat these breakfast burritos. They come down the middle, they have like a ton of potatoes, cheese, bacon, eggs in there, and you dip it in ranch. And I was heartbroken. I eat my fucking feelings all the time. So, coffee, burrito, I'm good to go for my performance review with Kara and Brad. There's a caveat though. You see, this is downtown Pasadena off Lake Avenue. My meeting's at 9 a.m. this morning. We're meeting off-site for some reason that morning. Kara and Brad want to meet away from campus where our office are. Like, okay, fine, we'll do that. We're at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, an inferior competitor to Starbucks. Some might say. We started meeting with some small talk. The small talk is you can say like, hey, I just got dumped by a girl from ECU. Fuck me. I'm so sorry. You know, it's okay. Let's start your review. Except it's too distracting in the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. There's too much commotion on this Monday morning. Carrie says, let's get out of here. Brad, I'm distracted. Let's go back to campus. So that's what happens. Brad and Kara go back to campus. I had met them there. Okay, I'll meet you guys back at campus. As we're talking, my body is starting to feel some things that you can imagine what's happening in someone's body who's just down like 32 ounces of coffee from God knows where in your LAX, this breakfast burrito. I stand up and go to the bathroom at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. But guess what? The line is 4 people deep, as if someone has like also had the same plans at the same time in downtown Pasadena at the moment. I realize when I stand up, I see this line. This shouldn't happen here. No offense. I've got to go before I'm able to take my place in line. So I leave the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. And I walk outside to my car. As I'm walking outside my car, my stomach literally is trying to escape my body. I'm looking down alleyways in this bougie part of South Lake Avenue. Where can I shit? Where can I go? Because my body is about to feel things that it has never felt before. It feels like my soul is trying to escape through my asshole. I look in corners and crevices of urban infrastructure, and there is nowhere for me to go. Fuck America for not having public bathrooms. I go up to the Sanrio Pasadena toy store. We must have a bathroom in there. Guess what? It's 9:25. Everything opens at 10 a.m. in California. They're so fucking lazy. It's awful. They'll stay up late, but that's not helping me here and there. So I make a decision. I have to just get in my car and go. As I'm driving north, I realize I have some saviors of friends. Brett and Jared. They're two of the whitest people you ever fucking imagine. With names like Brett and Jared, you can imagine that. I kind of make a split decision. I can either go north to campus, or I can just go to Brett and Jared's. I'm gonna roll the dice and see if they're home, because they don't live too far away. In fact, they live like 2 blocks over off South Lake Avenue, and they live on Mentor Avenue. It's a one-way street, and I park my car, and I just start fucking running, because I think I'm gonna shit my pants. Brett and Jared are 2 great friends of mine. I see Brett's car there, Jared's car is not there, and I knock on the door. They're not there, and I have to go to the back because this is the place I'm going to shit. My body has decided this. I'm going here no matter what. In the back of their house, this is a giant magnolia tree. Google Maps doesn't do justice for arborists. Like if you're an arborist, you can maybe tell what that is. I'm just telling you, all you non-arborists, that's a fucking magnolia tree covering the backyard right now. There are 2 apartment complexes back here. There's people always buzzing around in Pasadena. There's also a street rooster that lives in this magnolia tree that we named Omicron because we're in seminary and we're taking Greek. That street rooster, so many people tried to kill it, animal control tried to come out and take it, he couldn't fucking take it. Omicron was like secretly the mayor of Pasadena, especially this region. Something finally got him one day, and we buried him underneath that magnolia tree. I digress. This is where I take a shit. There is a shed in the back of Jared and Brett's rental house. Why are you groaning? You know it's not happening. My body says this is the place, this is the time, this is the moment. Because you are in a performance review and you're about to shit yourself. It can either be in your pants or it can be outside your pants. I'm thinking about all this at this moment, and I look at the shed and just say, that's where I'm going to go. I don't even touch the doorknob. I kick the door. And then I turn around into pure darkness and just fucking go. Everything comes out of my body at once. Heartbreak, coffee, burrito, everything comes out of my body all at once. My eyes roll in the back of my head. You know, I moved to Los Angeles to really see what was going on with like spirituality. It wasn't just like Christianity. It was like, hey, I want to go somewhere where I can see everything. In the States, it feels like that's the place other than New York City. And there was so much going on in Los Angeles from like 2010 to 2011. There are Scientologists. There are Satanists. There are seances. There are experiences, religious experiences you just can't find anywhere else. I was prayed over, proselytized, prophesied over. Every Sunday, I went to something different all the time, trying to find meaning, trying to see what was behind this literal and metaphorical curtain. of spirituality. Like, if I was going to go be a pastor of some sort, I just wanted to see where we were in time and space and the universe at this moment. I love this picture so much. It is by a Dutch artist, Annelies Clark. This is all 22 chapters of Revelation. I like some weird shit sometimes. I like seeing like some visions, some like metaphors, some like craziness going on. And that's what I really saw in Los Angeles. I think I still carry a lot of baggage from that, but at least I know that I don't know the answer. It always alarms me when people say they know what's going on here, and I think about how could you ever know what's going on here? No one ever has known what's going on here. Anything can happen at any moment. I think we're always trying to look for something like divine or revelatory or an epiphany of some sorts, and something supernatural. Give me a sign. Answer my prayer. Show me what I want. Give me what I mean. And something comes down from the sky. Sometimes it doesn't. That moment when I shit in the shed. A bucket, brand new from Home Depot, was just beneath me, and not a drop was elsewhere beyond that bucket. Somehow, at that moment, the most ordinary thing of all time was the most miraculous in this fucking Home Depot bucket, catching every drop of shit that came out of my body. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was a miracle. And I would eat every Sunday for one. It was right there. It was $3.99. So I picked up the bucket, cleaned it up myself, dropped the bucket in the trash can, got back to my car. I had so many missed calls and texts. This is like the least funny part of it. Cody, where are you? We're meeting without you. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Had an emergency. I'm on my way back. I totally forget what the performance review was about at the time. I had no idea. I did okay. I didn't lose my job. Next year when I'm graduating, hey, can I stay on? Cody, there isn't a place for you. We're so sorry. We're excited to see what you do next. This is a story about the first time I ever got fired. Gently. You see, I don't know if you've ever been in a place in time where you just weren't good enough. Maybe there's another circumstance that you didn't have what it takes to stay on the team. This was my first time. It started with me being heartbroken, it ended with me being heartbroken, and then as the planets kind of align themselves right now, I even got laid off today. It happens. I pooped in a toilet today. I'm better. These things just happen. Sometimes they're so ordinary. And I think that was like, I was getting this story, right? This is a story I've told so many times, and it like circulated around the seminary. They were going shit in the bucket. It's a weird story. But even today, like, I think about this place and time 11, 12 years later, like, I hope it means something. I hope you see that Fuck Up Nights is meant to resonate with you in a way that, like, hey, this is a space for you to tell the stories or hear the stories that keep you up at night. Are you good enough? Did you make the right decision? Did you do the right things? Are there people like you who feel the same way? And yeah, I hope you see that there is. This is just a space, a moment in time for you to see that there's other people just like you, that things happen just like you. I hope you see that. And somehow I did fucking get laid off today. It was weird. It was so fucking weird. To close the loop in all of this, there's one lesson learned here that I want to share with you. Never date anybody who lives in the city. Thank you.
All right. Does that resonate with everyone? Everyone's like, We got 2 or 3 questions worth. All right, you raise your hand first. Give a shout out to Zoom Zoom.
Not really a question, but I would like the whole room to know that I'm a proud ECU graduate.
Go to the next one. Next question.
I'm standing up for this, you know how I am, Cody. I'm gonna give you shit. You know I'm gonna give you shit.
I gave you shit.
Why didn't you fly to Burbank?
Oh yeah.
That's closer. If you open the map back up, he would have had ample time to shit had he gone to Burbank and not flown to LAX. We all know this. Second, Coffee Bean is so much better than Starbucks. There's a wider variety of menu items there. But my main concern is why the fuck did you put your breakfast burrito in ranch? That's disgusting. So, sorry everyone. But that's definitely why you shoot yourself. So, but we've all shot in a bucket, be it camping or whatever else. So I'm proud of that ingenuity, honestly.
Hey.
No, skip it. Not fair.
Okay, so I've heard this story once before, and I asked you this question, and you gave me a really vague answer. So now I'm going to ask it again in front of which is, what did you clean yourself up?
Yeah, I mean, you asked me that a lot, dear. Yeah, so like part of this too is like, for the sake of the story, I shit myself before I got to Brett and Jared's house. Like I let out like a slip of a fart, and it totally fucking wasn't. Like fucking liar of a colon. So like as I'm driving to Brett and Jared's house, I have this Honda Fit. Honda Fits are the greatest fucking cars of all time. Lester, you know this. So I'm like sitting in my Honda Fit because I shit myself. And I don't want to get it dirty because it's like this is a nice car to me. So I'm driving like because I'm also clenching my butthole, as you know. And no, I think at that house it was like miracle of miracles. Not only was a Home Depot bucket there was like a towel there, but like I totally had to go back to campus, go to my apartment, and like clean up everything. It was not pretty.
Questions not in further detail of the shitting and the process of shitting and the process of cleaning. Yes? Okay.
Oh, thanks. I just want to know when you told Brad and Jared and like exactly how that went.
Yeah, not good. I texted them, but they were like, okay. And I mean, like, I cleaned up everything because I just had to drop a bucket in their trash can. But, you know, they were like the cleanest and whitest of like white guys. Like, Jared works for Apple now, doing Apple Maps. He's like a GIS specialist. And then Brett works for like John Ortberg's church in Menlo Park. Like, this is not a story that resonates with them because they're like so crispy white. But like, this is like totally a story. I'm like, this is why I created Fuck Up Nights to tell stories like this. So like, it resonates with people, it doesn't resonate with those two losers.
Final question of the evening.
So what's next for you after getting laid off?
Yeah. I mean, thank you for asking that. That's really kind. And I don't know if it's time for me to start my own thing yet. Thank you. I've been fired 5 times before. So like, I got fired from 3 different churches. One job before this, and then one job today. So like, I was like on the phone all day with people talking about things. Even my boss had never been fired before, and it's cool. Like, it's fine. This is like the first time it wasn't my fault, I think. So what's next? I'll tell you about this. I'm so excited to go. That's my wife, Kate. If you couldn't understand the lingo there, thank you for letting me do all this stupid stuff that I do and supporting us. We're going to Montana on Saturday. We're taking our 2 boys and I'm going to try to get like an urban cowboy, Billy Crystal style. I really care about this. I really care about fuck up nights. I really care about creating spaces in Raleigh that like we need with the skate park, with moments like this. I'm also involved with Sister Cities, so I'm like really trying to make the city not as white as it feels. I mean, genuinely, like we're too white. And then I think I'm gonna find something that like just makes the world a better place. I don't know what it is. I'm Does anyone else in here, do you feel like you're self-described generalist? Like you can play all the positions, but not really that well? Yeah. Okay, so this is an emerging term, right? Like we're problem solvers, we're leaders. We can relate to everyone. So I think I've got to lean into that to be like, hey, I'm a generalist. How can I best use this to serve this community and make a difference in the world? That's kind of the main thing. Whether it's like fuck up nights or something beyond, I really want to find a place where I can like, make a difference. Cool. Hey, I want to say thank you. One question that I want to ask you all is do you want to speak at fuck up nights? We kind of get this request quite a bit. These are the things that keep you up at night. Joel asked me 9 times. I'll ask you 1 time. Hey, if there's a story there that you want to share with the world, please send it to me on Instagram. I'm the face behind the username for us. Just talk to me that way if you're on Instagram, or like find me another time. We're always looking for stories that need to be told. This isn't meant for people who get chances to speak all the time. Although Danny Rosen, we'll figure out something with you. This is meant for people to have an opportunity that maybe don't get to say what they need to say, or a chance to do what they need to do. So I just want to tell you that, like, please, if you have a story, come find me. I love hearing failure stories. It like gives me the willies in the best way. So please come find us.